From Arkansas's streaming news leader, this is THV 11 Morning News at 6.
Good morning and thank you for being with us on THV 11, streaming on your TV with THV 11 Plus. I'm Karen Fuller.
I'm Hayden Balgavy. Let's send it over to meteorologist Tracy Bean joining us with the first check of the forecast at 6 o'clock this morning. Tracy, we're going back to summer. We're going back.
I know. What is up with that? We were all enjoying that little fake false fall, weren't we? I know I was. There's a lot of folks that still love these warmer temperatures, and so we're going to accommodate them too. Mother Nature is being nice to everybody. Let's talk about the bus stop forecast. Partly sunny skies. It's going to be a warm day ahead, so the kiddos will certainly need some shorts and a t-shirt and a water bottle too. We're going to see things heat up by recess and lunch with those temperatures in the upper 80s. And this afternoon, looking for that high to jump back in those 90s, 93. Heat index could be around 96. So again, just keeping in mind that we're not quite done with summer. And another thing to talk about as we're getting a little bit later into the year. Normally we see a little bit of the glimmer of sunrise, but it's getting a little bit later. 6:49 this morning is what we are looking at. Things are still pretty dark out there right now, and that sunset around 7:19. The temperatures, well, we're starting out in the 70s. I liked it when we started out in the 50s earlier this week. The winds are calm, so it's a bit stuffy out there this morning, but still not too bad. Really, we're looking for those temperatures to warm up into the lower 90s, so we're starting out a little warmer as well. Once those clouds get out of here, we're going to start to see temperatures start to rise, and it's 90s for everyone across the state. Humidity is going to be really low, so that's good news, so it shouldn't feel too bad, but it certainly will be hot out there. We'll talk more about your day hour by hour and our next chance for some rain coming up in my forecast.
Developing now, an intense search is on for whoever shot and killed popular conservative activist and influencer Charlie Kirk.
Police say they do believe this was a targeted attack. The 31-year-old killed in front of a crowd of thousands during one of his campus debates at Utah Valley University.
Kirk founded Turning Point USA, an organization for young conservatives. Flags outside the Phoenix headquarters are lowered to half staff as a memorial in his memory continues to grow.
Jared Hill reports calls for an end to political violence are now coming from both parties.
Conservative activist Charlie Kirk tossed hats into a crowd of thousands, settling in at Utah Valley University for one of his famous campus debates. He was taking a question about gun violence and mass shootings when a single shot rang out, piercing Kirk's neck. He later died.
He just fell backwards, and then we ducked and hid behind some stairs.
This morning, a manhunt is underway for the person who shot the 31-year-old husband and father of two young children.
I want to be very clear that this is a political assassination.
Utah's Department of Public Safety believes the suspect fired the bullet from the roof of a nearby building up to 200 yards away, sources tell CBS News. Two persons of interest were taken into custody and later released Wednesday after police said they were not connected to the shooting. One of them has been charged with obstruction of justice. Supporters brought flowers to the Phoenix offices of Turning Point USA, the organization Kirk founded to motivate young conservatives.
He was one of ours. He was a champion of everything we believe.
Leaders across the political spectrum, including all current and former presidents, swiftly condemned the deadly shooting. On social media, President Trump called Kirk, who was an influential MAGA ally, a martyr for truth and freedom.
Because of this heinous act, Charlie's voice has become bigger and grander than ever before.
The president has ordered flags to fly half-staff on federal buildings through Sunday in Kirk's honor. Jared Hill, CBS News.
And new overnight, several vigils held to honor and remember Kirk, including ones at the California and Utah state capitals, along with Phoenix, where you just heard Kirk's organization is based, and in Orem, Utah, near where the shooting happened. Many gathering to pray for Kirk's family. He leaves behind a wife and two young children.
Also this morning, two students are in critical condition after another school shooting, this one in Evergreen, Colorado. That's southwest of Denver in the Colorado foothills. The juvenile suspect is dead. According to the sheriff's office, the gunman opened fire with a revolver. First responders arrived at the scene within 2 minutes, and they were in contact with the suspect about 3 minutes after that. In all, authorities say more than 100 members of law enforcement swarmed the school.
There was a message over the intercom, and they basically just said that they were going into lockdown.
So grateful for the really brave staff here in Jefferson County and at Evergreen, and So grateful for first responders.
Tributes are pouring in on social media from state leaders and others. Officials say the suspects shot themselves at the school but later died at a hospital.
Back here in Arkansas, 2 deadly train incidents in just 2 weeks have transportation and railroad officials renewing warnings about being safe around the tracks. The nonprofit founded by Union Pacific called Operation Lifesaver Inc. ranks Arkansas 14th nationwide for train collisions and fatalities as of last year. The freight rail giant uses the nonprofit to reduce the number of accidents and promote awareness.
And we always tell people that they need to be paying attention to driving. In a lot of cases, we're seeing that people are paying attention to their radio, they're paying attention to their phone, they're paying attention to people in the car, and they may not even realize that the barricades are coming down.
Federal transportation officials say that inattention shows up in the number of incidents, more than half, where arm bars, lights, and bells are working. Well, high school football is back, but in Little Rock, new rules are changing how some fans experience Friday night ball games. THV 11's Tamer Knight shows us how recent conflicts are behind these stricter policies under the Friday night lights. Tamer?
Well, that's right, Hayden. We're just a few weeks into high school football season, but after several altercations, new rules are shaking things up for fans in Little Rock. These new restrictions are aimed at keeping everyone safe, but will impact students and adults. Effective immediately, the Little Rock School District is enforcing stricter rules at home football games. Students from LRSD must show a school ID to enter, while students from visiting schools must be with an adult over 21. There is also a hard cutoff for ticket sales at 4 p.m. on Fridays, and no one will be allowed inside after halftime. The district officials say the move comes after meeting with school leaders, police, and the community.
This came about just to make sure that we have plenty of safety and security personnel at the games. Sometimes you get a huge influx, and we just want to make sure we're staffed just to keep our patrons safe.
Little Rock School District School Board member Vicki Hatter says she wasn't involved in the decision, but mostly agrees with it. Moving forward, she wants to make sure all students have IDs to get in, but questions having an adult requirement for opposing students. Now, these new policies could be revisited in the future, pending the results of the future weeks of Friday Night Lights. For THV 11 News, I'm Tamer Knight.
Should be all about the games on Fridays. It's a shame we're having to worry about this. All right, Tamer. Thank you. Also, speaking of this topic, England High School is having to forfeit its game tomorrow night against Mayflower after much of the Lions football team is suspended. Now, this statement from the district says the decision was made after on-field fights and altercations during last week's game with Drew Central, which left several people hurt. 14 England players are suspended, leaving the team unable to compete.
In Warren this morning, police are looking for a suspect following a violent home invasion and assault. Officers say it happened just after 9 yesterday morning on West Pine Street. The suspect took off before police got there. Investigators are urging neighbors to lock their doors, keep an eye out, and report anything suspicious. Now let's check in with meteorologist Tracy Bean and the forecast to help you plan your day.
Well, it's going to be a warm one, so make sure you're wearing short sleeve, maybe sleeveless, skirt, shorts, whatever you can. It's going to be hot again today. We're looking at a little cloud cover this morning, starting temperatures off in the lower 70s. We're going to see that high today in the low 90s, but it could feel anywhere from those mid to upper 90s this afternoon. As we're heading into Friday, again, starting off in the 70s, and we're going to see those temperatures continuing to go up just a little bit, 94, 95 for the high, but very similar for that heat index. The humidity is going to be a little bit lower, but as we're heading into the evening for Friday night football, we're going to start to see those temperatures again in the upper 80s. So no rain in the forecast, but we sure need some. We'll talk more about the drought conditions and the counties that are currently under a burn ban coming up next.